Welcome back, everybody, to another episode with the Van Bourbon Boys. This is Serenity Now, Bourbon Later. This is Josh and John. We got episode 12 of our show. This is season 4, episode 20 in Netflix, right, Josh? Because you're saying that it's
19 on Netflix.
there. We go. There's a
Yeah,
confusion.
episode 20 in the original, but Netflix screwed it up, moved something together, I think, or pulled it apart. So it's actually 19.
Yeah, so 19 in Netflix. We're doing the Junior Mint episode. So this one, I was watching it a couple weeks ago, and it hit me, and I was like, we got to review this one because it's near and dear. So we got to go on some rants about this one. So, and then for our bourbon, Josh, you got the bottle, right?
Got the bottle.
Yeah, we got Starlight Peach.
Yeah, so it's Starlight, it's bourbon finished in peach brandy barrels. It's 120 proof, 119.5. So you're 60% there. So it's only a 4-year bourbon. Pretty young. I've had this one before. I enjoyed it. Um there's certain flavors that I like with bourbon. Peach is one of them. Peach just lends itself well to bourbon. I think blackberry lends itself to bourbon too.
Okay.
Um and I don't know if we talked about it before, but coconut is another one that myself and John went to a restaurant in Washington D.C. and they had a coconut old fashioned, and I was like, eh, and she said, try it, and I had it and I loved it. So that's another one. But I actually have a bottle of one time we'll have to enjoy, John. I haven't opened it yet, but I've had it from Peerless. It was a single barrel and it's got a tater sticker on it, peaches and cream on there. So yeah, this is one of the couple bottles I have with a little peach. Of course, it's not flavored because that would make it not bourbon anymore. But we finished in peach brandy barrel, so I'm gonna pour it here and see what we think. So
All right. Yeah, I was I remember that trip to DC. We're at that restaurant and you were really hesitant, but willing to. Of course, you want to try something new. I remember you being pleasantly surprised. You were like in
very,
the food as well. So
yep. What did John get at that restaurant? Do you remember?
I think it was something like hot dogs.
Like hot dogs and hamburgers. It was the most odd order of anything I've ever seen. It was I mean, this is like a farm. Okay, guys, this is like a farm to table restaurant. Okay,
Yeah.
so it very much that vibe. Great place. I enjoyed it. Can't remember what it's called. If I saw it, if I know about where it's at, it was like northwest of the White House. Because after we left there, we drove right by the White House.
Yeah.
And so yeah, John got like a American platter, and it had like hamburgers and hot dogs on it.
Why did
Like
I do that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Sometimes your ordering is just strange. I'm trying to think of other examples, but I know there have been times where you've just ordered something like out from left field, and that was one of them. It was literally like little hamburgers and hot dogs on a plate. I don't remember what the sides were.
I wonder if she was like recommending it or if it was like, man, if it was come highly reviewed that I just went for this. It looked like very, unique or something. But no, that's classic me. I mean, to your point, when we would go to Sheetz or to Wawa, if I do make my own burger, I put everything on there and it turns into an abomination. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I got, I believe, shrimp and grits, which is one of my big classic dishes. But yeah, John got hamburgers and hot dogs. So I don't know why that was even on the menu, but it was there, and that's what John got. So
I think that's what the old saying is. It's this, when in Rome, right? But when in Washington D.C., eat hamburgers and hot dogs.
there, I can't. I guess Trump. That's where he goes down the street to get his hamburgers and hot dogs at the farm to table restaurant. That we had a reservation and still had to wait like 45 minutes. That place was busy, but yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked
Yeah.
the environment. Had a cool bar, had a good bourbon list. I liked the place. So
Yeah, the classic me.
um,
Let's have a reservation and eat hamburgers and hot dogs.
there you go. And our bourbon today, talking more about Starlight. So Starlight's in southern Indiana, probably about maybe 45 minutes from Louisville. The cool thing about Starlight, it's you'll see it says Carl T. Huber's on there. So it's a big farm. We always called it Joe Huber's. They have like your pumpkin picking and all that stuff, and then they have like a Sunday buffet, the whole thing, and it's Starlight, Indiana. So this is where Starlight Distillers comes from, and I don't know when they just started the distillery. I've only seen this stuff the past 5, 6, 7 years. So I think that's about where we're at. But yeah, not stone's throw from Louisville. I haven't been to the distillery, but definitely need to put it on the list to go because I have a few of their things that I like a lot. So
I can't think of the name and not think of the Boys, right? The show Boys
mm,
with Starlight. So
mm-hmm.
so it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think she did now.
She
Yeah,
did.
I think she did. Yeah, the last season of that's either playing now or coming out. I don't know. I kind of got burnt out on it. So yeah. But anyway.
Oh, so yeah, I think that next time we do something like this, you have the bottle. I haven't had it before. You give me a second to try and guess where that
Oh,
proof level is and the age
I
level
like
is,
that. I
because
like that.
on the nose, I mean, that
Yeah.
was really pleasant, really surprising. And so far, I'm
Yeah.
getting exactly what the bottle states. So I don't know if that's
Okay.
guilty knowledge, but I'm definitely getting the young age statement and the higher proof too.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
All right, so we'll dive into the show now.
Yes,
So
sir.
the premise of this episode is, the junior mint, right? And you have those four stories. You got Jerry is spending the entire show trying to figure out what his own girlfriend's name is. You got George trying to take this money that he's found, and he's trying to make money off of it, off of a possible death. That goes into another episode that you and I talked about earlier about George's being a scumbag.
Yeah, pretty much.
Elaine is then dating this triangle guy, and then Kramer's trying to make his apartment look better. He's trying to seek gloves to stain his apartment.
Right.
So, they kick it off. They're going to go visit Roy, right?
Right. Right.
And at no point did they ever mention the history between Elaine and Roy. They just bring it up. This is the episode. And you're not required to by any means, but Elaine re-falls into love with him, in a sense, kind of falls over him because he's lost weight. But I
Because he's
felt
not.
like
Because he's not fat now.
he's not fat. But I'm sitting here like he may not be fat, but he still looks like a homeless man. He looks really like depraved and not attractive. I just don't get it. But you know,
And then, I
it's
mean,
weird.
spoiler, but towards the end, he's, stuffing his face because he got out of surgery. Now he can eat. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, he's going to get fat again. I don't want him. Like the very shallowness of that, for sure.
Yeah, and that's like, what you see in Elaine, some other things with the Mimbo, right? The episode of the Mimbo. So you
Don't
do,
eat.
you don't eat. Yeah, you see that in Elaine from time to time. But yeah, this episode, reviewing that, I was really caught on to why I chose the episode was because of the medical aspect of it. But then I actually realized, diving into it and trying to nitpick, there was not much to the episode itself. It just kind of goes
Right.
along. This is one of those episodes, throw it in the background, I'm doing something else. I don't know, maybe you feel the same way.
I mean, it's funny. I thought I liked this episode more than I do. When I was a kid, Junior Mints were one of my favorite candies. I like your peppermint patties and Junior Mints. And so, like, movie theater, definitely, I'm not a popcorn guy. I like everything on the planet. I mean, I think John probably already knows this. I pretty much like everything on the planet. I don't like popcorn. I don't like root beer, and that's pretty much it. And so, go to the movies. I'm not going to eat popcorn. I don't like it. And so, Junior Mints always were like my choice. And so I always felt like I liked this episode. Going into it, I thought I was going to, and watching these episodes, of course, in a different light, right? I'm
Yeah.
actually I've got my notes in front of me and I'm watching it segment to segment,
Yeah.
kind of considering what we're going to talk about. And I kind of realized there's not much here.
Yeah.
It's Rory and the Junior Mint and then Mulva. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's it. That's the whole episode. I mean, Kramer's like, I'm going to stain my floors. I got
Yeah.
to get the right kind of gloves. That's it. Like, there's not out. And I thought, before I watched it, I thought Pigman was this episode. It's not. Pigman is where the man jumps out and hits George's car. And
Yeah.
so, like, I was waiting for Pigman. I was like, wait, this is not. He literally just, I'm at the hospital getting some gloves. That's his
Yeah.
whole thing. So it's a very thin episode. I like the premise, but not much happens for sure.
Yeah, there's not, because Kramer immediately coming in is receiving those gloves from Jerry. He throws it to him, and they're really thick. They're dishwashing gloves. Doesn't have any texture or feeling. He can't redo his apartment with those. God forbid Jerry did him a favor and he's going to complain about it. So be it.
Right.
But he
Right.
goes to the apartment, goes to the hospital with him, and then he finds pay dirt. He finds all the gloves, and yeah, I could see that. Those are perfect gloves to do that with. But then he finds himself kind of involved in the surgery that Roy's having, which is what, spleenectomy.
Spleen. Yeah. It's just said it's a spleen thing.
Yeah,
So that's all. That's all we get.
yeah.
It's his
But I mean,
spleen, which is not a big deal.
yeah. So Elaine's fallen, like head over heels for him again, or crushing on him, whatever you want to call it, simping, and here's Roy's homeliness or whatever, but then George is trying to find out where to place his money. He wants to score. He wants to parlay it. Just going to show how irresponsible he is with his money. Jerry's trying to convince him to put that money into the bank, invest to do something with it. He's like, I'm going to invest it. I'm going to spend it into something. And he only decides to buy the triangle. That's what Roy makes. It's just a bunch of triangle stuff. And I never noticed until watching this episode that Roy's art, all those stupid triangles, are in his room in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that too.
I just noticed it for the first time, and I was like, yeah, to the point. Like, this is art. This is so stupid.
It's story convenience,
Yeah.
because he's already in the hospital, so he can't go to his apartment and look at the art. So it's like, we're just going to put it in here with him. So yeah. But yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
And he's just kind of like disregarding everything. But then when he finds out that Roy may die, that's when he decides to invest in it. And that's when he starts seeing the scumbag of George. Because not only am I going to invest in it because he's possibly going to die, but then throughout the later of the episode, he actually is celebrating the fact that he's going to die, and upset with Jerry that he's checking on him to make sure he's going to get better because it's going
Yep.
to affect his investment. I mean, I
Yep.
don't know how low you can get. I think this is probably the lowest point of George as a character.
I mean, honestly, I think we ran into that in a couple, either our last episode or the episode before. That was the worst George, I thought. Mr. Stock, got my stock, and it's a Hyundai. That's my least favorite, I think, George. But this one's pretty close. I mean, and it's weird because they threw in the Home Alone thing there, and it's like,
Yeah.
why did you didn't like Home Alone 2? Yeah, I was lost because I didn't see the first one, and I don't know if you remember the movies, but they're pretty much the same movie.
Yeah.
Just the second one's in New York, and it's a homeless lady in the park instead of the man with the shovel. They're the same movie, so you see that and you're like, "What are you talking about?" Like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, George is very disjointed, and I mean, I get it's season 4, so he's like scumbag George is not as bad, but yeah, I don't like him either. The art thing is,
I don't know. There's so much other things you could do with it, but that's just the knee-jerk reaction he has, and he's not even mourning or concerned or whatever, because that's Jerry's affect too is also shown in this episode. So you have
Yeah.
George, who's actually celebrating, or certainly not mourning that Roy might die or something, but then Jerry, when they were discussing the surgery in the actual hospital, he's playing with his yo-yo. He doesn't concern himself with the well-being of George whatsoever, because that's just, and again, you go to the latest portion of the entire series, that's where they get arrested, right? Because they
Yep.
have no concern for humanity whatsoever.
Yep. And pretty
But
much all of them in this episode are that. Especially, I think Elaine was the worst. Elaine is, oh, you're skinny. Let's go out. Oh, you're eating. You're gonna be fat. Let's not. And so that's it. That's no other properties whatsoever except that he's gonna be fat.
yeah.
So
And Dr. Siegel, of course, he's not only is he the ER doctor in multiple episodes, but Dr. Siegel is also the surgeon.
let's talk about Dr. Siegel. So yeah, he's George's like neurosurgeon that's gonna help with his with his legs, right? When he has the summer of George and
Yeah.
all the atrophy. And
Yeah.
then he's the one that tells him that Susan's gone. And then he's in the finale, talking about them, and like I can't remember what he says about how George reacts to Susan. What are his words? Do you remember in the finale?
Um, well, then she's gone.
Right. Well, that's what he says. That's what he says. But in the finale, he's on the stand and he says,
Oh, yeah.
I view it as, yeah,
Oh, yeah. It was almost a restrained jubilee.
that's it. Restrained Jubilee. Very good. We should have saved that for a trivia episode.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but he's Dr. Siegel in this episode, but later he's Dr. Wexler. Okay. They
Ah,
changed his name. And one cool thing, and I didn't find out why, but the actor's last name is Wexler. So my thought, not even looking up the reasoning, is that in a later episode they didn't really look back to see what his name was, and somebody called him Wexler because that was his real last name, and they just kept it in and called him Dr. Wexler. So his name changes later, but he has four appearances, and this is the first one.
so I don't know. I find it hilarious. I do find it comical. Like, you didn't find a different actor to play these people. Because as you know, that's not how it works in the medical realm. There's more than one doctor in a hospital.
Right.
But I do find it
Right.
comical because I think his acting and his placement in this series is pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Very. They just kept going back to the same guy as the doctor. So, just all the hospital stuff, because I think me and John have probably mentioned, that we're medical, and so just all the hospital stuff we tend to look at and kind of go, like the operating theater, that they're up top and they would just be able to, a junior mint would be able to fall down, and they've got their hats on, but they got no masks on, and of course everybody downstairs, there's no like operating table or anything, they're just all standing there, and he says, "Nurse, the retractor," and she just has it in her hand, like, "Here's your retractor, sir."
Well, the
Like,
thing
there's
is
no
like
other.
I don't. I was wondering to myself, at what point historically did they get rid of those observation rooms, or did they actually look like that? I mean, to me, I was like, that was more of what my thought was. But I started diving into, and of course, you're not going to expect Jerry Seinfeld to know how an OR is actually set up. But
Right.
Roy's on a respirating system. He's not tubed. He's not ventilated. His IV bags in the back aren't spiked. There's nothing going on. He's just, hey, get on this bed. We're going to throw a blanket on you.
Yep. Pretty much. I mean, the worst, I don't think even this is the worst medical thing ever for Seinfeld. The worst is when George, his tonsil, well, he thinks he had a heart attack and it's his tonsils.
Oh yeah.
He's in the room, and he's got the G tube, which is a feeding tube, as we know, in his nose. Like, why would he have a feeding tube when it's like, you didn't have a heart attack, something's wrong with your tonsils, we're gonna throw a G tube in. But they thought it was funny just to have the G tube hanging out of his nose. It's funny, but every time I see it, I'm like, he doesn't need a feeding tube,
He
okay?
doesn't
Like,
need an NG tube.
no, 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 not at all. So yeah, some medical mistakes in this one, but that's still the worst for me, is George with the tube hanging out of his nose. So, um, funny thing too, I always make a joke with patients about, like, because we'll have to take their gown off or whatever, and we're having trouble with it, and I always say, we got all this technology, it all changes every few months, we get new stuff. The patient gowns, same forever. And when Roy's sitting there in the bed, patient gown, I look at it, I'm like, that's the same gosh darn patient gown that we have now. Like, they've never changed. The snaps with the weird little patterns, always the same. So everything ever, and they're still exactly the same now. So
Yeah. I mean, this episode didn't have that much, but like we were talking about, is that when going through the fine tooth comb, taking notes, you start noticing things. I noticed that during discussion of Roy's recovery, that you can see Dr. Siegel in the actual screen, like physically, but his
right,
mouth's not moving, and you can hear him talking. So it's obviously a voiceover. It's kind of like, okay, so, you notice that. I'm like, I didn't notice it was a voiceover. We discussed that in previous episodes too, where you
right,
can really, really denote that there's pretty bad. But
right.
I just noticed that for this episode. But other than that, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not much to the episode.
No, it's pretty simple. I mean, we haven't talked about Mulva yet, and pretty
Yeah,
much with her, it's just we don't know her name, and it rhymes with a body part, which I've known people name, and we won't get into what the rhymes are, because we're gonna stay in our little
we're
family show here.
keeping
But
it clean.
yeah, but Dolores, I never thought that rhymes with a female body part, and I'm sure in 1993, this is season 4, so about 93, I was 12. I probably went, what is that? What does that rhyme with?
Yeah,
You know? Yeah. I might have known, what does he say? Mipple or Gipple.
Gimple,
Gipple.
Gimple.
Yeah, Gimple for that, but I don't think Dolores, I would have known the rhyme. So I don't really,
Yeah.
I don't know how many people would have been like, "Oh yeah, Dolores." I don't know.
Well,
It's a little.
yeah, myself included. It took me several times watching the episode, just being like, "What is her name?" And Dolores, what would that write? Because it was like when Jerry was first trying to figure out, because she goes, "Oh, it rhymes with the female body part," and they're on the couch. He starts looking her up and down as they're hugging, trying to figure out like the anatomy. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what a person looks like. I mean, that's an arm, right? He's looking at her arm and her wrist. Like, it's not Lieutenant Dan here. She's got some legs. So it was just, that was comical to me. I just noticed that for the first time, but I spent years being like, Dolores, okay, but I guess that's the comedic part of it. They're throwing out everything they possibly can. That's very obviously not an even name, but then they're like, Dolores. I'm like, what?
But how many people in 1993 knew, like, immediately what that joke was, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that a lot of people did.
Yeah.
Because what it rhymes with, there's a long form of that word and then a short form, right?
Yeah.
And I think probably most of us would use the short form if we were going to use this word. And so, yeah, I always kind of thought that was pretty thin. So I don't think there's a lot here. I think the Junior Mint thing, and they probably got a little bit of sponsorship money out of that. I think that is a neat little idea in itself, but everything
Yeah.
else is really thin. And we don't know when they're producing these episodes, right? They're filming them. They're not filming like 10 at a time. They're coming in on Tuesday maybe and doing a table read. Well, these aired on Thursdays for the most part. So, they're probably doing a table read like on Mondays, probably doing some
Okay.
whatever on Tuesdays. They're
Yeah.
filming it on Wednesdays and cutting it and airing it on Thursday. So, maybe this is a week where, they only had a day to get things done because it's very simple set, not like a whole lot of things going on. They don't go a whole lot. It's what, three sets. It's the hospital room and Jerry's apartment and the operating room. That's it. And so, there's not a whole lot. You could have filmed this in like 2 hours, in all
Yeah.
reality. So I just don't, there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it's definitely because you notice those first few seasons, right? The show hasn't really taken off because they're hiding the names of the products. You look at through Jerry's kitchen, the pantry, etc. The
Yep.
names aren't there, and then you start noticing name brands. Obviously, product placement. This is a very, very overt one. They're like Junior Mint, and then ironically, Dolores offers a Junior Mint, and it's everywhere throughout this episode. So there's product placement to be had.
Yeah. I don't think this was just permission. I think this was probably little cash on this
Sponsors.
one.
Yeah.
Little cash. Although we do talk about M&Ms in the ending, which we'll get to in a minute because I have something about that too. But I did like he talks about Florence Nightingale and Claire Barton. I always getting them mixed up too for some reason. Like they're both nurses, but Claire Barton is the Red Cross and Florence Nightingale I think was in World War II. And for some reason, like to me, they're just like the same person in my head. So I always thought that was interesting that I too kind of get them mixed up.
I know. It's that same banter that they typically will do, like when they mispronounce a word or a name. And that's why I go back to that. I like that. That's that friendship that they have. But to those names, I do the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah, there you go. They're
yeah,
two nurses. Nurses don't matter.
why do you have,
Well, as you can tell, like with most TV, texts don't matter because
yeah,
because in the operating room is a nurse. Hand me a retractor. It's a nurse. It's a nurse scrubbed in. There's nobody else but a nurse and a doctor. That's the two medical professions we know. So, which I haven't watched. They say The Pit on I guess on HBO. I haven't. Have you watched it?
I started watching it. I watched some clips here and there, and then I'll watch. If Liz just wanted to watch, so we watched the first episode. It starts slow, but no, it's probably the most accurate when it comes to medical.
That's what they say. So I'm wondering if we actually have like texts and stuff on there. So I don't know.
We'll see.
You got to have X-ray come in. It's not some random doctor with an X-ray machine. So
Well, doctors run everything. They do
I
everything.
know they do it always every when they go to CT, when they go for CAT scans in every show, the doctors are running the CT machine. I'm like,
Yeah.
the doctor wouldn't even know how to turn on the CT machine,
Yeah.
much less run it
Not only is there one, there's three doctors. There's like a litany of doctors everywhere to be had.
everywhere. Yep, that's all we got. Doctors do everything. So
Yeah, we're not sour at all.
no, 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 not at all, not at all. Hey, at least you're in there. Nurse, hand him the retractor. You're there, buddy. You're there. Um, so yeah, the
Ah,
only other thing I had when Jerry closes out with his monologue, he talks about the light brown M&Ms, and I'm like, sweet dated stuff, because I always like things from Seinfeld where I'm like, that's dated. So do you remember? So there's no light brown M&Ms anymore,
correct.
right? Correct. Do you remember what replaced the light brown?
Blue?
Blue. Yeah. Do you remember how blue replaced it?
Um, ooh, this is going to be a good one. I don't know, but I'm
Yeah.
going to guess. No, I can't guess. Go ahead. What is it?
They had blue, pink, purple, and it was like a big nationwide. I think they threw them in the packs. I think all three, or they had a pack of just blue, pink, purple, and then it was like a big vote thing. But it might have
That's
been.
that's right.
I'm thinking like late '90s,
Yeah,
maybe early 2000s, but I'm thinking late '90s
I think it was late '90s.
because it was a very much call in and vote. So I was big on the blue, and blue replaced light brown. And I don't remember. I think it was a dye. Honestly, I think it was a dye of the light brown that was getting, thinking about food dyes, but something like that. That I can't remember why they wanted to get rid of the light brown, but yeah,
Huh.
yeah. So Jerry talks about the light brown M&Ms, and they no longer around.
I didn't even catch that. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good. That's good. You caught that.
yeah. When he says it, I go, oh yeah, there's no light brown because blue. Yeah, so blue
Okay.
was not an original color. There you go. Good knowledge here from the Van Bourbon boys. Talking about the bourbon, what have you been thinking about the Starlight there?
Um, It's good. I certainly won't knock it. It's definitely something I would have again, but it's showing that young age statement. It's showing the heat. It's not a complicated palette. So
Yeah. I don't get a ton of peach from it. I get a little bit. The funny thing is sitting here going through it. So I have right over there. I have the pre-made peach Penelope old fashioned, which I enjoy, really enjoy, and it's like their bourbon with peach bitters or whatever. And so I have some. I think I have some like black walnut bitters or something like that. So I definitely think this is probably going to go in the old fashioned pile. I like it, but there's nothing. There's nothing sitting here. It's young enough. Like it's a base bourbon profile. I get barely a hint of. If you didn't tell me it was peach, I probably wouldn't find it. Right. I
mm,
get a little hint on the back, but not enough to. And I guess we're kind of in rating mode here, so we'll just go that
yeah.
direction.
Well, I get it on the
Um,
nose. I get the peach on the nose
there you go.
but
Agreed. Agreed.
yeah,
But not a whole lot on the palate. So
yeah,
I definitely will probably make old fashions out of this and call just do peach old fashions because I enjoy those a lot.
that's
And
good.
that's probably what this is going to go. We still got. It's not terrible. I didn't know if I said, but this is a Total Wine store pick too. So I think I paid $70 for this. So I think it's a little
Yeah,
high for what it is.
yeah.
I like Starlight a lot. It's a bit more small batch. You're not going to find Starlight across the country. So I enjoy it, but there's nothing here that I'm like, I really, I got to find another one of these, or I don't want to get another one.
Right.
But anytime, peach, you're going to sucker me in. So, and I use I have it sitting over there, their blackberry whiskey as my blackberry. If I'm going to add to an old fashioned, that's what I use. So I used to just get like blackberry brandy, but now I use and you get it for like $20. It's pretty cheap.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I enjoy it a little more than the middle of the road. So I think I'm gonna go 5.5. Five
All
five.
right.
I'm just gonna
All right.
tack on a little bit extra there over, a base bourbon, but not a ton. What do you think?
Y Yeah, I mean, I definitely would right there with that base bourbon, but I like the finish of it. I love that the idea of throwing into an old fashioned. I think that you could do much with that. You just as it is, the peach on the nose is phenomenal. Don't get it much on the palate. Got the heat. I'm giving it a 4.9. I would have it
4.9.
again, but yeah, 4.9.
Okay. So 5.3. 5.3. It's a little low. Starlight, we're not hating on you. I enjoy it. There's a double oak Starlight that I have that we'll definitely go over in a future episode.
Sweet.
That I enjoy. That actually John bought for me in a little transaction. We had we found some Weller foolproof and we opened one bottle and we kind of shared it. And so John was kind of paying me back. So he bought a Starlight double oaked and we had a pour out of it and then I took it with me. So we'll have to pull that one out another time. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's just not knocking my socks off.
Yeah.
On another day, I think I might like it a little better. If I could pull a little bit more of the peach out of it, I'd probably like it a little better. You're right. It's just kind of faint hints, which is
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like peaches and cream milkshake.
Exactly. That's something you have to constantly remember. But now I would love to do like a redemption of it as an old fashioned. That'd be unique.
Yeah. And we might do that one day. Might, put together some old fashions and try those out. Cause I can definitely pour some of those out. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, 5.2 is a little better than your average. $70 might be a little pricey.
Yeah.
But that's like I said, they're a little bit more small batch. So you're not getting 20. They're like I said, their blackberry whiskey is pretty cheap. I think it's 20 or $25. But the rest of them are going to be in that 60, 70. They're longer age products closer to $100. So,
Okay.
and then what about the episode for you?
Episode, I'm doing the same thing. There's not much to it. I picked it because of that medical connection, but it's pretty bland episode, not too enamoring or grasping of the audience. But I'm giving it a 4.9 also.
All right, John's a 4.9 guy today.
Yeah,
Uh, here's the funny thing. I'm right there. I don't want to go. I don't want to go right 5.0. Because I feel
too
that's too
rookie.
on the nose, too rookie, too on the nose. So I think I'm gonna go heck, it's the theme today, right? I'm gonna go the positive direction, just because I thought I liked this episode and I don't hate it. I just didn't find a whole lot in it that do I want to go back and watch it right now? No. No. I have no desire. There's nothing in it that I'm like, ooh, I want to go watch that again. So I'll go 5.5 again. We're just gonna be together on this and we'll go 5.2. So Starlight Peach Brandy finish 5.2, Junior Mint 5.2. So that's easy for you guys today. So if you want a kind of a midday, you don't want any too heavy in excitement. You don't want to be disappointed, but you're not like, I want something really great. Just grab Starlight Peach and watch the Junior Mint, and you'll be a 5-2, a 5-2 kind of evening for you. So there you go, man.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, but maybe I'll go find some light brown M&Ms and enjoy the rest of my night. So
Well, that's gonna be better than a 4-9.
they're gonna be worse than a 4-9 because they're gonna be 30 friggin' years old. So yeah. As far as I remember, I mean, I'm gonna look right here real quick while we're talking. I don't know if you have any more anecdotes you want to bring up, but I
No,
need
I
I
mean,
need to find out when the last appearance of the brown M&Ms were.
if you find any light brown M&Ms and you consume them, you're gonna find yourself in Roy's position very quickly.
Oh, I mean, yeah, my spleen's gonna explode. But I mean, and I mean, I'm not getting anything to do with a light brown M&M. I'm getting light
Oh,
brown people. So I don't know why it's that's what it's showing me is 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 is, is our brown friends with light skin is what I'm getting. Why I'm getting that, I don't know. I put
come
last
on,
appearance
Google.
light brown M&M and I'm getting yeah.
Google,
So we're
keep it clean.
I mean it's clean. Just they thought I was looking for light skinned brown folk, so it's okay. It's all right. It's okay, Google. We were looking they don't know what they are either. It's been too long. Google has no idea
It's
what a light
true.
brown
Google,
M&M is.
Google is
Yeah.
in infancy stage.
Yeah. I mean if eBay's up, we can check for a light brown M&M. It was having trouble earlier, but I'm gonna look real quick because you guys don't care.
No,
You're just hanging out with us. A light brown M&M.
but it does
I
make
don't
me
know what
wonder though, because light brown is it the organic or the original flavor and coloring of the chocolate, and they went to a more toxic food coloring.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, we're getting this lady with a light brown M&M shirt on. We're not nobody knows what a light brown maybe it's a Mandela effect. Maybe
I
there
was just
never was
gonna
a light
say
brown M&M. It never existed. It never existed. There was always blue. And we just thought they were light brown M&Ms. They never were a thing. Even Jerry was in on it.
if
The
Fruit of the
government
Loom and Jerry.
the government done made this episode to make us think they were light brown M&Ms.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, this is what happens when you have two good friends having a little bourbon, at 9 o'clock at night here on a Sunday. But anyway, this is the last episode from the Cleveland studio. So I'm done with that. We're gonna be mostly from Orlando, so that's gonna be good. Give me and John more an opportunity to do some of these together.
Yep.
So if you guys have any ideas or anything you want us to do, come at us, and we're gonna do a few more before the summertime, and then probably take a little break. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying what we're doing, and we're gonna come back strong in the fall with some extra stuff probably. So anyway, I think that wraps up episode 12. You got anything else, John?
No, that's it, man. It was fun. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Audio platforms, if you want to listen to that, or we're on YouTube and Instagram. So we'll see you guys real soon.
I'll see you.
All right. All right. Thanks.